I too would like to invite you to close your eyes for 30 seconds and imagine that you have a new job. You're a community worker at the Hutt Street Centre, and every day you help clients like Peter, who is one of 6,000 people in South Australia experiencing some form of homelessness every year. Peter's life is in crisis. Struggling with a gambling addiction, he's lost his home, and he's now moving between insecure and temporary accommodation. His relationship has broken down, he's socially isolated and withdrawn. But at your centre, he gets a welcome smile, a warm shower and maybe a meal. At your centre, Peter gets a little bit of hope and a little bit of dignity. Now, if you did close your eyes, thanks, you can open them again. What you've heard there is a story of hardship and homelessness. And organisations like the Hutt Street Centre and indeed the Don Dunstan Foundation are working really hard to reduce and prevent homeless situations like I've told you. That's not actually the story that I want to tell you tonight, though. It's actually just the beginning. It's the beginning of a different story about Peter's other hidden problems. You see, as the community worker, when you talk to Peter, you learn about these other issues. You learn about his money problems, about debt and circling creditors. You learn about unpaid fines and trouble with the police. And you see him make repeated unsuccessful attempts to get secure accommodation, and you see him starting to sleep rough, and you see his mental health really suffering. Now, you can help Peter with counselling and support services, but what of the legal problems that are closing in on him? The legal problems that threaten to undermine his mental health, that exacerbate and entrench his homelessness, and may even put his life at risk. The fact is that people experiencing homelessness are twice as likely as the general population to have legal problems, and 3 times as likely to have multiple legal problems for which they are simply not equipped to deal with. What Peter needs is an advocate. Peter needs a lawyer, but he needs a lawyer that will come to him, a lawyer that will listen to him and earn his trust, a lawyer that will be there as he shares his story and over the long haul if necessary. What Peter needs is, I think, homeless legal outreach, which is JusticeNet's solution to providing accessible legal help to people in this situation. And here's how it works. JusticeNet partners with law firms that provide pro bono legal assistance to our clients. We match our law firm partners with a homeless centre so that volunteer lawyers can provide regular weekly outreach to clients so they can get the help they need when they need it and where they need it. With homeless legal outreach, clients like Peter can get help in a familiar environment among people they trust. So imagine, if you will, a different tomorrow. When Peter arrives, you can introduce him to Sarah, the lawyer from Homeless Legal. And with Sarah's help, he gets his debts consolidated or waived, looming bankruptcy proceedings are dismissed, the police matters are withdrawn, and he gets his name removed from a tenancy database, which has become a barrier to secure housing. Once Peter's legal issues are resolved, he can focus on his well-being and rebuild his life. Now, Homeless Legal is on the cusp of becoming a reality. And we've partnered with our first 2 homeless centres, the Hutt Street Centre and Catherine House. And we have agreements with 2 of Adelaide's best law firms. And within 12 months, Homeless Legal has the potential to provide assistance, legal help for 200 clients, and with more resources we can open more outreach locations. And what I can tell you what I can guarantee you is that the homeless legal model works. How do I know that? Because it works in Brisbane and it works in Sydney, Newcastle, Melbourne and Perth, and it's also worked here in Adelaide. And with your support, we want to bring it back. To do that, we need a project coordinator, someone who will help us recruit our lawyers and to coordinate the outreach locations, build the trust and rapport with our clients, open more outreach locations and help more clients like Peter. What we need to do that is for every $15,000 that we're able to raise, we can have a project coordinator for 1 day a week for 12 months. That investment will leverage 20 volunteer lawyers to provide 500 hours of legal help to 100 clients. And for every $1,000 extra that we may be able to raise tonight, we'll get our project coordinator for an extra 3 weeks. So we'd love your financial support tonight. And if you share our vision, then I invite you, support our journey to help those who most need it but can least afford it, to give Peter a little bit of hope and a little bit of dignity and a little bit of justice. Thanks for your time.